still waiting for our participants to enter in, so I'll just start slowly to welcome you, bienvenidos, because I hope we have a lot of Spanish speaking or Spanish learners, because this morning it's my great pleasure to be introducing Pato Mena, who is a Chilean author illustrator, and he's actually living in Barcelona. He's been living in Barcelona for the past 10 years, and that's where most of his books are being published. And I actually have a little side story because last summer I was in Barcelona and I was having a lovely dinner on a rooftop with a dear friend, and his partner is the publisher of Pato's book. And I was chatting to her and I said, oh, I'm trying to reach out to as many illustrators across the globe to bring to this program. And it'd be wonderful to have somebody that she publishes. And so she had introduced me to Pato, and I love Pato's style. You're going to really enjoy his workshop this morning and his behind the scenes of how he created this amazing book, Onsen, which is about the Japanese monkeys that live in the Jigokudani Valley in Japan. And so they have all these little habits, and we're going to go behind the scenes with Pato this morning and hear about how he was inspired to do the book and also the research that he did for this book, which was really exciting. And I hope you have your pencils and paper ready, because I've got mine and I've got my paper. I'm definitely going to draw some monkeys with you. And as always in this workshop, I love it if you send in any of your illustrations. We love to see them. Pato would love to see what you do as well. And behind the scenes, we have Tim at the Society of Illustrators, who can jot down in the chat any links and things like that, so that if you want to send me your drawings, you send it to my email, which is claire@societyillustrators.org. And so my name is Claire Pernice, for those of you who are joining for the first time for our monthly virtual Saturday stories. I've been running this program, which was an in-person program before the pandemic. We have a small museum in Manhattan, and so being able to do this virtually, we can reach a wider audience. We can reach you from wherever you are, and we can reach illustrators and author illustrators from wherever they are. And it's so fun to come and see them in their studios. They'll do a slideshow about the behind the scenes, which we're always very, very excited to hear about. You may just have a book from a bookstore or from the library, and now you get to see how these books were created. So that's very exciting. And at the Society of Illustrators, where I run children's programs, we also have after school program, which is once a week on a Thursday for 8 to 12-year-olds. And that's called Creating Characters and Stories. That's on Zoom. So I have students who join from across the state, sometimes Canada, sometimes further afield. And last fall and winter, we had an art show, which was titled How to Draw Your Dragon, and 12 of these talented students had their artwork featured at the Society of Illustrators Museum, which was very exciting. And we have stickers now with each of their dragons, and those stickers are available at our museum store and online. So if you like dragons, and remember it's the Year of the Dragon 2024, check out those dragon stickers drawn by kids as young as 8 years old, and they are amazing. So now I'm going to introduce you to Pato. So Pato is from Chile. Chile is on the south coast of South America. For those of you who may not know, if you're very young, you may not have looked at that part of the world, but he comes from a very beautiful part of the world. Patagonia is some of the most spectacular landscape. And he's been living in Barcelona, as I mentioned, for the past 10 years. And he studied advertising, but decided that he was really interested in doing comics and picture books, and did some courses in Spain, and is, for the most part, self-taught, which is very exciting because, as you can see, it's a very unique, fun, lively style of drawing, which I think we can all relate to. So even those of you who get a little nervous about drawing and think you have to draw super realistically, you don't. You're going to see how easy it is to create these little fun monkeys just with simple shapes. So we're going to have that for you in the workshop part of the program, and do write your questions in the chat. Let us know where you're joining from. We always love to hear where you're from, and I will be asking your questions during the workshop part of the program. So Onsen, What Monkeys Do, was voted the best picture book, one of them, as a selection from the New York Public Library. This is in 2022. In 2016, The Perfect Siesta, La Siesta Perfecto, received the seal of the Junior Library Guild selection by the Public Libraries of the United States. The book also won the Best Picture Book category at the International Latino Book Awards in 2017. And these books are wonderful. I urge you to check them out. They're available where books are sold. Some will be in your libraries. And if you are learning Spanish, how great to get a book in Spanish that's a picture book, because there's less text, so you can follow along. And this morning, we're going to hear from someone who's truly Spanish pronouncing this correctly. If I was to read it, it wouldn't be great. But Pato is going to read it in Spanish for you and translate it into English. So we're really looking forward to that. And as I said, have your artwork materials ready. And without further ado, I'm going to hand you over to Pato Mena this morning. Thank you for joining us, Pato.
Hello, Claire. Hello, everyone at home. Thank you very much for joining us today, and many thanks to you and the Society of Illustrators for the invitation. It's a true honor to be here today, and I hope we have a great time together. I have prepared a presentation to show you how was the process of creating this book, Onsen. Was because although it is apparently a very simple book, it had a lot of work behind, and I think it's a process from which we can learn several interesting things. But to start, let's go a little further backwards, because although I loved drawing when I was a child, to be honest, the idea of work and light from illustration, or writing as well, simply did not exist. At least for me, in a town in Chile in the 80s. At that time, I will draw always. I will invent board games. I will make my own comics that were passed from hand to hand among my schoolmates. But back then, we had very little access to any kind of book or artistic influence. There was no bookstore in my town, and at my school, there was a very small library, which unfortunately was not good enough, and we were not encouraged to use it. That's why I took other path at first, working in advertising, for example. But then, almost without realizing, I came to children books. Those comics and those stories that I wrote in my notebooks as a child left a deep mark on me. And I always had the idea of doing something creative of my own as an adult. Looking to develop a narrative graphic project, I discovered the expressive and creative possibilities of children books, and had nothing to envy of comics, movies, or the rest of literature. And that's for me. Today, I've got 22 published albums, most of them written and illustrated by me, but I have done also some collaborations. If I had to define something common in all my books, I will say it is humor. I think laughter is very important in childhood, much more than we can imagine.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah. These books, for example, are published in the United States, as you said. The Perfect Siesta, which is about a sloth who can't fall asleep. And this other Wonder Small Costume Party, that is a really crazy book, that's the truth. And this year, in September, my new book will arrive in the United States, Matthew Birthday Party. A lot of parties in my books, maybe. Yes.
Yeah, that's...
Remember, September, write on a piece of paper and stick it on the fridge. As you can see in these books, I usually change the illustration style quite a bit. Each story conveys something different to me that I try to express graphically. The truth is that it has always been a learning process, and I hope it continues to be that way. Where the ideas to write a story come from? From many different places. Phrases that I hear on the street, from other readings, and also from things as simple as the phrase, "I would like to make a book about my favorite animal." This is how the idea of Onsen was born, and to tell you what this process was like, let's go to the presentation. Here we go. Let me know when you see the monkey.
Yes.
Yes. Here we go. I don't remember exactly when, but many years ago, probably on a Sunday morning while watching an animal documentary, I saw for the first time these monkeys that live in the mountains of Japan and take hot water baths. I was absolutely fascinated by them. Just look at this image, please. They are amazing. By the way, onsen is the name in Japan for natural hot spring bath. That's why the book has this name. So time passed until I had the chance to go to Japan, and there I was able to go to a real onsen without monkeys, only for humans. In the photo, I'm with my partner, Yolanda. It's just the moment before we took the bath. I know it's very similar of this. So please don't be confused. It's difficult to see the difference. Well, I knew then that I had to think about the monkeys again, because I had been able to see Japanese culture up close, at least a little. And now I knew that the book had to be as simple and comfortable as a hot bath. For that, I had to be more sensory story. So the text had to be very short, just enough for the image to speak for themselves. In this way, I came up with the idea of using pictograms as a way to save words. The pictograms are those green symbols over the monkeys' heads. Then I knew the pictograms will be the driving force of the story. For me, writing is not just about imagining stories. For me, writing maybe it is more related to inventing games. Yes, a game has rules, has a narrative, has a beginning, middle, and end. On the basis of one game, many stories can fit. And back then, with the idea of the pictograms, I knew what the game was going to be about. And at the same time, playing is a fundamental part of the book. Looking for simplicity, I tried to focus on a normal day for the monkeys, with nothing more special than the basic needs they might have. The beautiful thing is that we can identify with these basic needs too. A special greeting in case there is someone watching us from the bathroom right now at home. Okay, I had the story written. Now, I had to see how it worked graphically. For each project, I always make a storyboard, very simple and quickly, to be able to have an overview of the story. You can see here every page of the book in a small size. It is a very good way to organize yourself. Once the storyboard is done, I move on to the digital sketch. Here, I take each scene from the storyboard and draw it a little larger so I can define everything better. The drawing remains very simple and free. I like the things that come out of this. I usually rescue quite a few things from this stage from the final drawings. For instance, this digital sketch cover already has a general idea of the final cover, as you can see in the clear screen. And I have to say this, I never stop making changes throughout the entire process. Making a book is constantly asking yourself, It is okay like this. Could this be better another way? Well, it is time to move on. I like to start with the characters. We already saw the digital sketch, but I want to give them a more extravagant touch. So I made these sketches. As you can see, I combined some red strokes with other in blue, touches of yellow over there. I make faces, I make moving bodies. I try different ways of drawing. But I like these multicolored monkeys. Then I decide to try them in a scene from the book. I was used to working on books digitally. That's why the first Onsen tests were like this. What I do is choose a representative scene from the book and start testing things on it, like in a laboratory. In the case of these projects, the monkey bath scene was chosen, since in it we see several elements together: monkeys, trees, water, snow. It is also an opportunity to see how colors work. This is something very, very important. So when I reach a style I like, I choose a couple of more scenes and I do them the same way. This way I can see if they start to work as a whole. Now, this digital style seems strange to me, really. But at the time, I like it. I even show it in that way to a couple of publishers. And here's a very important factor came into play: time. Both the text and the illustrations need to rest for a few days or a week or more. Why? Because your mind is fresh, and when you return to see everything differently, then you can make new changes and move forward for the better. At this time, the COVID pandemic broke out, and since everything stopped, I had more time than usual to let the project rest and try new things. What happened after the break? What happened when I saw the digital illustrations again? I didn't like them at all. Why? Because the story was simple, and I realized that the illustrations were trying to be complicated. The story talked about nature, and the illustration looked unnatural. So, since I had time, I decided to try materials, something I had wanted to do since years, but had never found the time, or simply I didn't dare, to be honest. And the truth is that I had a great time with this. I used the image of the onsen as a laboratory again, but this time trying to focus on the landscape, not the monkeys. Those shapes, colors, textures. What does an environment tell me about the animals that inhabit it? I start with watercolor. This is the illustration that we see here, but I felt that the material did not give me the feeling I was looking for. So I changed to wax pencils, and this image turned out. I really liked these onsens, but they also seem far from what I want to communicate with the book. I know this is very personal and relative. In the end, I decided to go back to colored pencils. They weren't bad. I just had to keep going. Despite I was looking for simplicity, I also drew more realistic monkeys, like this. Why? Well, to know through drawing what I didn't have to do. Yes, that can be a way too. Then I tried to simplify until I did this. And when I saw it, I knew it was that I had been looking for. Some monkeys made with just a few strokes, but very expressive, even friendly. And do you know what the key was? The size. Until now, I had not drawn so small. And yes, the size you draw it can also make the difference. With this in mind, I start doing other scenes. I liked them, they worked, they transmitted that simplicity that I was looking for. This is a very small drawing too. Then I went back to the monkeys, one after another, trying to make the drawing, even if it was a little bigger, have the spirit of a small drawing. As you can see here, I still tried extravagant colors, but simplicity, the natural color of the monkeys, was winning. And this is the precise moment when the faces of the main characters appear. I have finally found it. I even used some of this illustration for the book. And this is important. Only then I realized that I have been fighting of my fear of drawing simply. Sometimes we take refuge in complexity to appear more secure. Accepting the simple can become very difficult. Since I already had the characters, the next thing was to test them in their environment. The good thing was that I already had the drawing style of the monkeys, and I could also apply this to the landscape, the same way of drawing for everything. This is the first approach to that. The time had come to transform those quick storyboards drawing into more detailed ones. Here's a small sketch of the first page. The documentation process was also very important. In addition to many photos, I also saw some documentaries about snow monkeys. That's how I realized that they didn't sleep on the ground, but in the trees. Logical, right? Well, sometimes we can miss the type of details. That's why the documentation process is important. And it improved a lot, I think, the beginning with the monkeys family of the tree, don't you think? The book was originally published in Spain by the publisher Abuen Paso. Greeting for Ariana, my dear editor. Then came the edition from France, Italy, Korea, China, and the last one that is a really, really very special. The book was published in Japan just a few months ago, in December. The monkeys, after a trip almost as long as the creation of the book, finally arrived at their home. To finish, I'll tell you that with the publisher, we like the game of pictograms to tell a story so much that we decided to make a second book, but with other animals in a completely different landscape. The Vizcachas of the Atacama Desert. Now I'm working on the third book of the collection, which will be published this year. Is everything going all right? You can see some advances and sketches on my Instagram. Well, that was the presentation. So
thank you so much. Amazing.
We now let's read Onsen together, isn't it?
Yes. See.
You see the screen, isn't it? The monkeys.
Not yet. You're going to pull up the digital version of the book, right?
Yeah. Did you see it?
Not yet.
Okay, let me. Okay, I tried to share my screen again. Okay. I don't know why I said this is pause. Well, I start again, just share again the screen, and okay. There it is, isn't it? Now.
Yes, perfect. Perfecto.
Okay, so, Onsen, ¿qué hacen los monos? Oh, it's my language now. Onsen, what monkeys do? Let's read it now. En la montaña, los monos se desperezan. In the mountains, the monkeys wake up. Sienten frío. Entonces, they feel cold. Then, van en busca del agua caliente. They go in search of hot water. Y se dan un agradable baño. And they take a pleasant bath. Hasta que, until, out the water, muerden y tragan. Crumb, crumb. Muerden y tragan. Gloom, gloom. They bite and swallow. Crumb, crumb. They bite and swallow. Glunk, glunk. Satisfechos, vuelven y se relajan. Satisfied, they return and relax. ¿Y ahora? And now what? Van donde la nieve no tapa la hierba, ahí hacen su caca. They go where the snow does not cover the grass. There they do their poop. Aliviados, vuelven y disfrutan. Relieved, they return and enjoy. Siente que pica, rasca. He feel it itchy, scratch. Siente pereza, bosteza. She feels lazy, yawn. Siente, ¿qué siente? Feel, what does it feel? No es frío, no es hambre, no es caca, no pica, no es pereza. It is no cold, it is no hunger, it is no poop, it is no itchy, it's no laziness. Los demás no tardan en sentirlo también. It doesn't take long for the others to feel it too. Salen a toda prisa. ¿A dónde van? They rush out. Where are they going? Arriba, muy arriba. Up, very up. Y desde ahí, and from there, se lanzan una, they go down, y otra vez, over and over again, hasta saciarse, until get tired. Ah. Oh. Then it's freezing again. The snow has come back. And so this story ends.
Bravo!
Oh.
Yeah.
Now that we are in the mood with the monkeys, what do you think if we go to the workshop now?
Yes, so get your pencils and your paper ready. And we're going to start a workshop with Pato. See how to make these snow monkeys.
I put the things in order here. I made some space first. Okay, prepare your material.
And ask any questions in the chat or in the Q&A. I'll definitely ask Pato any of your questions. Maybe some of you have know about snow monkeys, so let us know. Or other animals, other favorite animals.
Okay.
Your notebook, yeah.
Here we go. Yes.
That's good, perfect.
One by one. Okay, just let me a second to
set it up a bit. Yes. So everybody, as you can see, Pato has done many comic books and picture books as an author illustrator. So when we feature illustrators on our Saturday Stories program, sometimes the illustrators work with authors and they have a manuscript that they work from, and they do the illustrations. But quite often we also have author illustrators, which Pato Mena is an author and illustrator. So he writes and he does the illustrations, creates the whole story, which is very fun. And this is part of a trilogy. So this is the first book of 3. So you saw the second one.
Yes.
And there's another one coming too.
Yes. Yes, yes. Monday I have a meeting with Ariana for, I hope, that book. Okay, then take your materials. We only need paper and color pencils. Although if you want to use other material, that is fine too. But we occupy different parts of the same sheet. It is not necessary to have a sheet for each drawing. Okay, so first let's try to lose our fear of simplicity. Just like in the book process, we will try to make the simplest monkeys we can in a very small size. Do you remember? Let's start, come on. The idea is make them really fast because we want to reach a kind of free style with very simple and free strokes like this. We have a little monkey. Remember, the size is important, so maybe they see quite little, but is the idea. You can also try different positions. I put this looking up, rest a little, maybe. Very fast. All the monkeys that you want to do. I mark with dark for the hands, the foot. It shouldn't take us too long, and you're simply quick. Little monkey doesn't have to do like the same as mine. Better if you have your own style. I do these monkeys like this, but you can find your own way. You can try different hairstyles too, like this, very crazy. And try different expressions too. This is really cool monkey, I think.
Yes, it's got great hair.
Yeah.
But they really do have some hair like that. So.
Yeah. Okay, so I made a last one. Maybe taking a bath. I really will see the monkeys came out of this.
Yeah, it's amazing how working in a different size can make you draw in a different way.
Yeah. But remember, those monkeys in particular have a lot of hair. For that reason, it's difficult to see the hairs. But sometimes you can put them to, like in this case, for example, I put the ears at the sides.
Right.
Several times, make several monkeys. Don't be shy. Well, I think our hands and head are relaxed now. So now I will teach you how to draw an onsen monkey in the true style of the book. As will you see, the feeling will not be so different from the super simple monkeys that we just made. I will use these 3 colored pencils, the same, pink, light brown, and black. But they don't have to be exactly this color. You have free for choose whatever you want. I start with pink, making this shape. Now I made it a little bigger. As you can see well, one shape first. Don't worry about the line. As you can see, I made more than one over the other. And then we made this other shape. So we have now a kind of mushroom, isn't it? We don't want a line to remain on the edge. To get that, we try to match the color of the interior with the line. You can do this by adjusting the pressure of the pencil. So you find the right pressure to make the line disappear. Try to make a stroke very free, in several directions even. Don't worry about that. You can even make some correction in this part of the process. As you see, everything mixed at the end. It's important that we can see the force of the strokes. There is energy in the strokes. So,
yeah.
Okay. Do we have it?
Yeah, it's very cool. Yeah, because you're really seeing how the pencil strokes relate to the actual pencil itself. You know, we usually don't leave the texture all the time. It's good.
Yeah.
Fun.
This will be the monkey's face. The upper part where the eyes are is smaller, and the part of the mouth and nose is longer. Then we change to light brown to make the hair. Here, the direction of the lines will be according to the hairstyle you want to do. First, made a little sketch of the form of the hair. Remember, you can do the hairstyle as you prefer. I made this from the book, from the cover of the book. So now we can start with the lines, with the strokes. They are free too, but trying to follow in the hairstyle. As you can see, it's a kind of order, a way they follow to define the hairstyle. But the lines are always, the strokes are always very free and natural. Okay. We already have the monkey's head. Only the eyes, nose, and mouth remain to be done. For that, we take the black pencil. We make the eyes like this. Very simple. So that they appear closer. The nose, like this. Not just in the center of the down part, a little bit up. And finally, the mouth with a single and secure line. We made a smile here. Ta-da! Here's the monkey.
Monkey.
Hello, monkey. Hello, monkey. Are you okay? Of course he is.
Yeah, I hope you're all having fun. We want to see your monkeys.
Yes, of course. So now let's go with the water. For this, we will need 4 more color pencils. Normal blue, light blue, dark blue, and green. Maybe at first glance, it doesn't seem like water needs so many colors. but we'll see. We start with normal blue here. It is the main color of the water. Let's center the monkey here. Okay. We make horizontal lines as free we can. Did you know that the horizontal lines are calmer than the vertical lines? That's why we use them as the monkey's main source of relaxation. Come on.
So I know a lot of participants are often interested in what your favorite art materials are, Pato. So do you collect a lot of different colored pencils? Some are soft, some are harder, or do you stick to a particular brand or two?
I use two brands mainly. This is Derwent Art.
Yep.
Several different style of pencils, and the Faber-Castell.
Yeah, I have some of those too.
Polychromo Faber-Castell.
Yeah, yeah.
I said.
So really for our participants, you know, colored pencils are readily available. You can buy them even in grocery stores sometimes. So you can try out different pencils, collect them. A lot of illustrators have a variety of different pencils. And then you just figure out which ones you like the feel of. These are quite soft. I can see that Pato's using a pencil that's a little softer. I also have some soft pencils. Some of them are personal. But yeah, you can buy them individually. So you can select different shades, or you can buy them in sets. But they are nice materials to travel with.
Absolutely, yes.
They last a pretty long time too. I mean, you can obviously have to keep sharpening them, but I've had some of my pencils for quite some time.
And I use the original paper that I use for the book.
Ah, yes. So is it a smooth? It looks like a smooth paper.
Yeah, yeah. It's for a sketch. It's nothing very special. It's
right. Yeah, yeah. I mean, pencils you can draw on everything, really.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, so now we take the light blue and add some touch only in some parts, and gently, it's very soft. It's just a detail, just for made some texture and visual effects. Some parts lighting with more light in the water. Okay. And then we do something similar with the green, controlling the pressure, not too strong, to mix it with the blue. Maybe this can be a reflection of the trees over the monkey. Remember, very softly, just a little touch of green. Finally, we add the dark blue to make the monkey's reflection in the water. Okay, pay attention because it's like a fast movement. Just like this. It is a shape of an inverted triangle, more or less, but also made it in a very free way. It leaves your hands very loose, like this from other sides to another, each time with shorter movements until the end. Okay? Now we have a real monkey enjoying his onsen.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So,
Remember that I told you that the environment was made with the same way of drawing.
mhm.
So let's check it by making some rock behind.
Yes.
Yes, this continues. Still don't rest.
Keep going, everybody.
Yeah. First, take a pencil, a normal pencil, and draw the shape of the rock very lightly, as we saw, like this. I do it in the style of the book, of course, something like this. Remember, very softly. There is snow in this landscape, so we also mark the space that the snow occupies on the rock, like this. And this. Okay. Now that we have this ghost drawing, ghost because just see very, very few parts of the draw. I can erase the line to be most ghost even, the line. We take color pencils and paint over it. We will use the same light brown as monkey's hair, and dark brown and light blue. These three colors, light blue, light brown, and dark brown now. We start with light brown. We always go from the lightest to the darkest. Remember, we use the same drawing style, so it's very free. And as I said, vertical lines convey tension, so we will avoid them as long as we can, because we want these scenes to be relaxing. For these reasons, we pull this line a little diagonally, and this way also gives some dynamism to the drawing. We follow the shape of our sketch all the time, respecting the shape of the snow as well, like I do now. Then we are ready. We apply the dark brown as a kind of shadow, but in the same direction, playing with the shape, with the forms, with the lines. Very simple. So we already have the white thanks to the paper. To mark the top part of the snow, we will only make some lines with the light blue, always following our sketch. So I made this part of the snow and this another. We have the top snow of the rocks. And to finish, we add a few quick strokes to give texture, like this. Very simple and very fast. Fine, but this wouldn't be a real hot bath without the steam. To do it, we take the black pencil again and draw it like this. Very, 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 very softly lines. Why? Because otherwise, instead of steam, it will look like smoke. So very, very soft to make the steam effect. Now our onsen is really finished.
That's so effective.
Yeah.
And you know, for the audience to just see how you simplified everything down, it is kind of like a whole process of trying to figure out what would work, because the monkeys their whole like color palette is really quite simple as well. You've just done what it looks like in the photographs, like a brown for the fur and that pinky color for the face. And they are immediately recognizable, immediately. You know, it's just paring it down to just the minimal. It's so lovely. And it does make it even more peaceful to look at as well. I think the audience can agree. So interestingly enough, this has a feel about it, which is relaxing and just a little playful because the monkeys go through their daily activities. I love the idea of them rolling around in the snow. That's so fun. I always think like penguins look like they're having amazing fun because they do sliding down glaciers into the water and diving. So it's really nice to see the monkeys playing like that. And then, you know, they get cold, so they get back into the hot spring. And the pictograms. So we were talking about pictograms and how you can sort of like symbolizing what they're thinking because their communication, you know, they're not talking in words, they're talking, you know, to each other probably in a very simplistic way. They're hungry, their basic needs, right? Cold, hungry, need to go to the bathroom. So yeah, perhaps you'd like to talk a little bit about the pictogram idea because that's very original and that's a theme that you're going to carry through the other two books as well.
Yeah. We made it thinking about made a different kind of use of pictograms to communicate a different kind of story. So that's very interesting.
Yes.
Let's play a little with the pictograms. For this, take a pencil of the color you want, but not too dark. I will take this purple, for example, any purple. So in the same draw, make a circle over the monkey. And then, well, then you put color in. This is okay. Very crazy too, the color here. And then a vertical line with a black pencil. Okay, so we have the pictogram now. I'll do the same thing, but maybe I'll do something different at the same time because each one will draw a food that really like. That's not thinking about the monkey, thinking about you. What is one of your favorite food meal? I don't know. I can draw maybe.
That's like pizza, right, or something.
I make this, for example.
Oh, strawberry.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Key is to do in a very simple way, but anyone who see the drawing later can guess what it is about. Yes. In my case, I hope it is understood well. I draw a strawberry. Yes.
So for some of the participants, if you wanted to carry this idea along and do something different, you could draw yourself, maybe in an environment that you like. Maybe it's sitting in your room or in the garden or on a beach, just a simple scene. And then like with a pictogram above your head with a little circle, you can put your favorite food, which could be ice cream. Maybe that's what you'd have at the beach, or it could be pizza. Maybe you went to a party. So, you know, there's a lot of ideas that you can expand upon with this idea of what, you don't even need to have the words as the point. You can just draw the thought, which is very clever.
What did you draw?
Me?
Yes.
Oh. I did some monkeys, I did two. Because I sort of, I had my other little tiny sketches right above. I'm really happy the bigger monkey is thinking about other monkeys because they were in my picture. And then I added another monkey. Yeah, then I added another monkey that was thinking of cherries, a little bunch of cherries. Yeah, no, that's fun to do. I really think this is a very good exercise. And that,
like as you said, I invite you to invent new pictograms with sensation that do not appear in the book, and let other people try to guess what you monkeys want.
Yeah.
We have time, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, we have a little time. Do you want to share a little bit more time? Do you want to share anything new, like another book that
Yeah,
we can?
yeah, we can also take the pictogram game even further. We can
Okay,
make a small scene between the monkeys where they only communicate through pictograms.
right.
It's a real challenge.
Yes.
For this, we can go back to very simple monkeys that we did at the beginning, because the
Yes.
important thing is to get the scene understood with the pictos, just only with the pictos. So, for example, we can do something like this.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. I prepare a small sequence. Let's see if it works. I don't know.
Okay.
Here. We start with a familiar pictogram. Do you remember which one it?
Yes, what they're eating. They eat the berries.
Or eating, exactly.
Eating, hungry, yeah.
Can you guess what the scene is about?
Well, one is hungry and thinking about food, and the other one is not. He's still sort of relaxing and not ready to eat.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
yeah.
guessing.
It seems that monkey one offers to eat fruits to monkey two, but she rejects it.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Oh, it's fine.
Oh,
Then,
now it's trying a different
yeah,
food.
then the monkey one offers she something else.
Yes, a
What,
banana.
what will it be?
Yes, we can say banana, right, everybody?
Yeah, pay close attention to the color of the pictogram. Just like in the book, the color gives us a little clue. And
Yes,
yes, it's a banana. But cheese rejects it too.
yes.
It's very difficult.
Now this one
Um,
a bit angry, puzzled,
I,
confused.
it's difficult. Then monkey one shows a question mark and a sad face
Yeah,
because he doesn't know what she wants.
yes.
But now she said, "I love it."
I love
What's
it.
happening here, really? And the
And
monkey one looked at us even more confused.
yes.
But she has seen something
Uh-huh.
and catch him. Bah!
Uh,
It is a small swarm
yes.
which looks like a question mark.
Oh, that's so clever. It's
Now, monkeys, one, love the idea too. Sometimes the monkeys need proteins too.
yes, yes, insects and things. Yeah. Oh, that's very cute.
So,
And it was a surprise ending.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, this is a small example for a story told only with pictograms.
Yeah.
Could you make one yourself? It is more difficult, yes, but I know you can do it. Show it to your friends and family, see if they can guess what your little story is about. Okay, so we finish for today. Uh,
Yes.
yeah,
Oh,
I hope
we
you
just
enjoyed talk and the workshop.
thank you so much for joining us this morning, Pato. It's been amazing. And I think everyone's been very busy drawing away. So hopefully I'll get a few of these illustrations sent in. Of course, everybody, this will be up on our YouTube channel shortly. We'll just be putting this up in the next week or so. So you can revisit this. You can tell friends that maybe couldn't join that this is a fun workshop to be part of. And it's simple materials that you need. So I think everybody can get their hands on some paper and colored pencils. And it's just using your imagination. Check out Pato's books. As you've heard this morning, they've been translated into many languages. So that's wonderful. They're going around the world. And I'm so happy to hear that this one's been published in Japan, where the monkeys live. It's great. So we have some of Pato's books also in English that are available in the United States. Certainly the Siesta Perfecto, the perfect Siesta is available, and that's a fabulous book. Perhaps just for a moment, Pato, could you show that book? Because that's in a slightly different artistic style, isn't it? It's quite a graphic book. Did you do this one digitally?
Siesta?
Yes.
Yes, yes. It's completely a digital style.
But we still see your shapes. You're very strong with using shapes, you know?
Yes,
Like,
yes.
yes.
Only communicate with the color.
Yes, yes. Color and shape. Yes, exactly.
In a very simple way, trying to be so
Yes, that's
very
wonderful.
expressive with the faces.
Yes, so expressive. I was saying this book could be an animation for sure.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Someday.
And how many languages has this book been translated into?
This one in a lot of language.
A lot, right? Yes, all over the world.
Maybe 8 language: Italian, French,
Yeah.
Portuguese, English.
Yes, it's the actual.
Chinese, Korean.
It's a wonderful example of coming up with a very simple story that's got feeling and humor and great characters in it that can be translated into many languages.
Yeah,
So your stories can really communicate a lot with just the pictures too. So have fun with this pictogram exercise. I hope you're all going to draw and send things in, and follow Pato on his Instagram. So it's Pato Mena Draws, right? At Pato Mena Draws. So you can follow along and see what he's doing and when more books come out. If you are in Barcelona, check out where he might be doing book signings. We love to go to book signings and have illustrators come to visit the Society of Illustrators and do book signings there as well. So, you know, you'll see once you start collecting picture books how wonderful that is to have in your collection. So thank you for joining everybody this morning. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend, and look forward to seeing many of you again for our monthly virtual Saturday stories. The next one will be on April 20th, and we'll see you then. Thanks again, Pato. Have a wonderful week, and thank you for sharing the snow monkeys with us. It's been great.
And thanks everybody at home too, and thanks to the Society of Illustrators. I really enjoyed the experience. Thanks. Yeah.